Thursday, April 4th, BYB returns to the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa, Florida for another hard-hitting night of bare-knuckle action in the patented Mighty Trigon. Cub Hawkins makes his first title defense of the Police Gazette World Diamond Belt when he faces Chad the Butcher Kelly for both the Police Gazette belt and the vacant BYB Cruiserweight title. Agnesa Kirakozian and Shelby Cannon face off for the inaugural BYB Super Flyweight title. Plus, explosive cruiserweights Yuli Monster Diaz and Zion Tomlinson battle in a title eliminator matchup. And former title contender Rashad Coulter goes toe-to-toe with Brazil's Levi Costa in a heavyweight showdown. Catch these and much more. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets and information.
Welcome to the Original Fighter's Voice. I'm your host, Don Mcguire. As you can see in front of me, the world champion, the legendary Butterbean, Mr. Eric Esch. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, doing really good.
You know, I'm glad you kind of woke me up and made me start this a little bit early, keep people on their toes. I wanted you on the show because your life inspired mine. And, a lot of people don't get that, but the people that know me will. But I want to take you back first. We're going to do this real quick because we don't have much time tonight. I want to take you back to when you were a young man. Life was full of adversity for you, brother. Your mother passed away at 8 years old. You were bullied in school, and you tried to find a path for yourself. And ultimately, you had a job, and some friends paid for you to enter a Tough Man contest. And the beginning was born. The fans started to scream Butterbean when you were fighting because you literally had to eat Butterbeans to get down and weight. Take me back to that first night you stepped in and the fans were screaming Butterbean. What did that truly mean to you?
I just went out, I had a good time, just got to beat the shit out of somebody and not go to jail. That was a great night.
I like I told you on the phone, I've had my fair share of adversities. I've been through 253 surgeries. I've seen what Diamond Dallas Page has been doing with you. How hard was it for you, Butterbean, to admit that you needed help, that you wanted to get your life back, brother, because you're an icon, not just in America, but in the world. So it's kind of hard for people like us that are strong-headed and strong-willed to seek help and want a better life for ourselves. How hard was it for you to accept that hand?
No, I never had no problem getting help. You get somebody that knows what they're doing. It's like a coach. They train you. They show you what to do. People don't know everything. I mean, you got to learn. That's how you learn things is having other people help you and show you things.
I watched a lot of your career, and I got, when you won the IBA World Championship, that was a tremendous moment for me because it proved to the sport world that a man with your unorthodox physique existed and could exist among some of the greatest fighters in the world. And you amassed a record of 77-10. Now that you look back over your shoulder, what does the career, the walk, truly mean to a legend like you, Butterbean?
I had a lot of fun. I got to travel the world and make a lot of money and had a great time. I mean, met a lot of good people and still meeting people and still on my journey.
What was it in the heart, champ? What was in the heart that gave you that drive, that motivation?
It's just me. I've always had the motivation to get out and do. If you're willing to believe in yourself, you can do anything. And I've always believed in myself.
So cool. I've had to do the same thing. I've picked myself up off the floor many, many times. And, looking at you, you're a true inspiration. I'm sorry they're separating the comments, people. If you want to jump onto the Fighter's Voice, you can jump on there and comment there. I'm going to get some of these out real quick, Butterbean, because I know our time is short. Paul Driscoll, they call him Little Holmes because he's a good friend of Larry Holmes out of Toronto, Canada. He says, hello, Don and Butterbean, good evening. As you've seen in the intro, a bare knuckle fighter, Chris Shaggy Gonzalez, says Butterbean, one of my all-time favorite fighters growing up. And then a tremendous gentleman of boxing himself, Steve Schroeder, says, "Hi guys." And my son, he says, "The legendary Butterbean. I remember playing your game, Tough Man Contest. One of my favorite fighters of all time." How did it
Yeah, that was
feel to
one of
be
the
immortal?
first games EA Sports put out in the boxing. You know, EA Sports puts out some of the best boxing games out there right now. That was their very first boxing game.
You know, uh, I'm gonna try to do this from both ways because it separated the comments. But uh, a young new fighter, he says, "Bean is the man. It's an honor just to hear him speak." Gable Perales says he has some submission wins in MMA too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your walk in MMA?
Well, I was in the airport and I come across old friend Mark Coleman, and I was
Good.
talking to him and I was telling him, yeah, I might want to fight MMA. You know, try it one day. Next thing I know, I got 28 promoters from all over the world calling me, wanting me to fight for them. And within 3 weeks, I was in Japan fighting.
You know, what made you? Because you started in a tough man contest, then you did MMA, and my intro kind of probably took you back a little bit to the tough man days, didn't it?
Well, I've done tough man, pro boxing, pro wrestling, kickboxing, MMA, sumo wrestling, you name it. In the combat world, about the only thing I haven't done is slap fighting or bare knuckle fighting, but done pretty much everything else.
And Mark Coleman and Tim Sylvie are doing that. That'd be an honor. I mean, now that you're up and walking, you know, I don't want to get too deep into it because I want to be able to share your story properly. But what did it mean for you to have somebody reach out and for you to finally get your hip back? You know, to finally lose the weight, get a hip replacement, and be able to live life again. I myself have been stuck in the bed for a year and a half at a time due to some of the stuff that I've been through. What was it like for you to get your life back again, champ?
Well, you know, my life was never gone. I just had struggles walking. So I mean, it helped a lot. I mean, it's made a big difference.
You know, another friend out of Canada, Marinko Mustafik says, "Hey, gents, love sent from Canada." And then Gable Perella says, "We love you, Butterbean." Uh,
Appreciate it, guys.
and he also says, Chris Shaggy Gonzalez is a living legend. He truly is. You know, I'm so honored to have you on. You know, we were kind of talking about it a little bit. You know, your fight. I want to talk because I don't think many people know this. Your fight with Pat Jackson. You guys were in the heat of the moment, and you hit the referee and you dropped the ref.
Well, the ref kind of got in the way. So I mean, it's his own fault.
Yeah, but Jackson refused to return to the fight. You know,
Well, I hit
what
him with a
was?
pretty good right hand. He probably didn't have he probably wasn't able to stand up very well.
Oh no, he wasn't. He was in the corner ready to fall to begin with. You know, when you look back over your shoulder now, Butterbean, what if you had to encapsulate one of your greatest thoughts or one of your greatest moments that truly defined you, not only as a warrior, but as a man? What moment would that be, sir?
Well, you know, when you have children, and that's a big moment in your life. I'd say my kids are the biggest moment of my life, and grandkids on top of that now. So family's the most important thing.
Amen, bro. Because my wife and my son are truly all I have, and I think the world is kind of upside down. So I think we truly need to, you know, keep them close and pay more attention to our families than we do the outside world. Johnny Flores says, "Hello, my brother. My hellos to both of you all. I'll never forget Butterbean knocking out Johnny Knoxville." What was that moment like for you, Butterbean?
You know, I mean, I don't know. It was a little different. I mean, I went to him and he goes, "Yeah, we really want me to knock him out." So I said, "I can do it." It was just that simple.
You know, if you had to open up a book and write out the most heartfelt thought in your mind and in your heart right now, and you opened it up to page one, what would that statement say, Butterbean?
You know, basically, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to go nowhere in life.
You know, I believe in that because, you know, like I told you, I've had 253 surgeries. The doctors give me 20 death sentences. But my grandfather taught me the world doesn't stop for you. You create responsibility, you take care of responsibility. Is that kind of what helped you through your struggles and through your adversities?
Well, the world's not even going to slow down for you. So, I mean, you better get on your own. You better make your own destiny because the world's not going to even slow down for you. You got to catch up every time you can.
You know, another gentleman from boxing, he said, wrote a fan letter 20 years ago. Butterbean sent me a signed photo, a good guy. Well, see, most people don't know. You've truly been a good guy the whole time you've been in the sport. You know, from the first moment you walked out, the fans loved you. The fans appreciated you. How did that change your life moving forward from your first fight when you saw the love from the people, the love from the world?
Well, if you don't have a fans, you don't have a career. I mean, there's a lot of fighters out there that think just because they're a great fighter, you got to be nice to your fans. If you're not nice to your fans, they'll turn on you. I mean, not only you got to be, but you want to be nice to them because they're the ones that make you who you are.
Amen, bro. You're one of the few champions that truly says that with heartfelt condolences. A, a guy that created a documentary in MMA, Luca Dezubnia, he says, I met Butterbean in Flint. We discussed doing a documentary, but I think his wife wrote down my email incorrectly. I would still love to connect with him to film this. That's up to you if you want me to give me your information, Butterbean.
No, we got two different people working on documentaries right now, so we got that pretty much handled. Sorry.
Tyler Woods says, awesome human, great comeback story. You know, what does this comeback story truly mean to Butterbean? You know, because if I know you like I think I know you, once you get up and start running, you're going to want to step back in the squared circle.
Oh,
You
we're
know,
already talking about it. We're in negotiations right now, so I mean, it's not the story's not over yet. So I'll let you know when it's over.
I think that's tremendous. I knew it was coming to apparition. I just wanted to hear it first out of your mouth because, you know, that's how rumors get started. A tremendous young boxer and photographer out of California says Butterbean's the GOAT of the super heavyweight division. And my son also says one of the favorite parts of that movie, I believe it was the first one. I'm not sure what you mean there, Anthony. Uh, my adopted grandfather, Artie Lamparella, says, on with the Stumble Bum crew, all big Butterbean fans. You know,
Appreciate it.
Butterbean, what does it feel like now to sit here and still have the world appreciate you, still have people like Diamond Dallas Page wanting to help you out, and you know, just the love from people in life that wanna see you succeed. What does that truly mean to you, sir?
Well, me and Dallas have known each other for years, and I've always told him I didn't want to do the yoga stuff. I'm not a yogi. Until I finally got to the point to where I'll try anything, and it's not really like people think. It's not really yoga. It's more like the stretching of yoga. So I mean, it really helps. I mean, y'all should look it up and try the DDPY program. It works. It helps a lot of people.
You know, Neighbor says, I enjoyed when he knocked out Bart Gunn at WrestleMania. Take us to that story, Butterbean.
You know, it was too easy. I mean, Bart won the Brawl for All championship, and he thought he was tough, and he wanted to become a professional fighter. Which after I knocked him out, he did, and he had a really good career. He fought a lot of really tough guys. Bart was a tough guy. He was just overmatched with me.
See, I think a lot of people underestimated you, and that's the greatest tool in your I would say in your wallet because nobody thought you would ever succeed at this sport. And not only did you prove them wrong, you became a world champion. You know, I don't know very many people that were counted out and ended up with a record of 77-10 in their professional career. That's just fights that they counted, but I'm sure there was plenty more.
There was a lot that was in, like back then, you'd fight in states. They didn't have a commission, so it didn't go on your record.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights missing because I started in the end of '83, the beginning of '84 at the creation of the NABF, and I saw a lot of fights just get completely wiped out, and you know everything was kept on paper back then. We didn't have the internet like we do nowadays, where you can recollect everything. A tremendous brother of mine, Phil Dow, says, Butterbean did it all. Respect to both of you warriors. Don, no matter how many times you fall, always get back up. All heart, God bless. Butterbean, it is hard every time someone like myself falls. You see it differently. What is it in the struggles that makes you stronger, sir?
Life itself's a struggle. You don't never know what's going to happen tomorrow, so you better live the life to the fullest of that day. If you care about somebody, you better tell them you love them because you don't know if they're going to be here tomorrow or not. That's the way I look at it, day by day.
That's so
Kind of
beautiful.
like an addict. They're always an addict, so they got to take every day one at a time, and that's what I do.
Yeah. I want to touch on something because the sport didn't take you serious, but I did. And when you wanted to fight Mike Tyson, I truly believe. Do I think it would have been the greatest fight in sports history? We'll never know because it never happened. But
Hasn't happened yet.
I love that. I really love that because I would love to see that. But take me back then. How bad did you want to fight Mike Tyson, and what would that moment meant?
A lot of Tyson would have fought me. The thing is, the promoters knew I was a big puncher, and you don't never want your fighter to go in against somebody that can knock anybody out. I can knock anybody out. Bob Arum's come up to me in many fights because it wouldn't matter who you hit with the punches like that, they're going down. I mean, I'm considered to myself one of the big heavyweight, big punchers in the boxing world.
You truly are. I wish you could be with me April 28th at the National Boxing Hall of Fame. Because you would sure be a crowd. Can't even speak. I'm so nervous talking with you. A crowd pleaser.
Which Hall of Fame? I think I've been invited to go to one of the Hall of Fames coming up soon.
It's the National Boxing Hall of Fame in Montebello, California.
Well, I'm going to the New York one.
Oh, the
The major
international.
one.
Yeah, the international. Next
Yep,
step up for
yep.
me.
That's
But
that's the one I've been invited to.
you know, Gabriel Perella says them shorts changed the game. They truly did. They made you an American icon. What was the philosophy behind those shorts, Butterbean?
Well, when I first started in Tough Man, they were having a World Tough Man contest. Fighters from all over the world were going to be in it, and I wanted everybody to know America's. We're a country to be feared and respected. We're a force to be reckoned with. So, I was proud to wear my colors, and I always have.
Still, Rick Caruso says I met Butterbean as a child with my dad. Awesome man, great listening. What does it mean to you, sir, to have the young kids and the younger generation still look up and still respect you, still appreciate what you've brought to the sport, and still continue to bring to the sport?
Well, one thing I impact boxing pretty big by a young man. Fought in Tijuana, Mexico. Had this little portly kid come up to me and say, I'm going to quit boxing because kids in the gym are making fun of me. And I said, don't worry about what they say. They're always going to be assholes. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. Well, that fighter grew up and he ended up fighting a good bit. His name's Andy Ruiz. I don't know if you know who Andy is, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's Andy. He had sent me a picture of me and him took when he was a kid.
that's crazy. Because I'm trying to read comments from different places because it's separated because we had to change things over. Uh, but Nate Wren says he was so happy when you knocked out Peter McNeely in the first round. What did that moment mean to you?
That was an easy fight. I mean, not a lot, to be honest. I mean, McNeely, there was nothing there. And it kind of exposed, I knocked him out faster than Tyson did, to be a matter of fact.
That's so cool. Doug Norris said you couldn't take his power, you couldn't handle him, but yet you knocked him out in the second round. How many times have you in your career had other fighters say, and then you surprise them? Because every time I look up, Butterbean was knocking somebody out. And it's like, how hard was it for you to get the sport to take you serious? When do you feel it finally took Butterbean serious.
Well, there's only a few critics that didn't take me serious. I mean, there was a fighter that he owes me a lot because I did knock him out. He got a lot of chances to fight a lot of other big names. He fought Buster Douglas, knocked out Buster Douglas. He fought Kevin McBride, knocked out Kevin McBride, and I knocked him out in the first round. Louis Monaco. So if it wasn't for me knocking him out, people would have said, "Oh, he's got nothing." Butterbean knocked him out quick. So yeah, he showed a lot of people I was tougher than they thought.
You always do. A buddy of mine from Michigan, Jeff Wagner, says his come up story is so impressive too. I was lucky enough to see him fight in the early days when I worked in the Tough Man contest. You know, I only got about 9 more minutes, 10 more minutes before we got to kind of wrap things up. You know, Butterbean, I, you've made a difference in my life. You know, when I watched your life, it helped me come up in mine. And a lot of people might say, well, how did that happen? But when you've been through adversity and you see another man beat adversity, it gives you hope. And I love your enthusiasm and your heart about life, because the only one that can keep you down is yourself. You know, and I love your ideology on family. You know, what does it feel like now to have this new lease on life? We're talking about another fight, you know, in the works. What does it feel like now to have this second opportunity at being you again?
You know, I've always been me. It's not like a second opportunity. I've always been the same. So yeah, I'm moving forward. I mean, you got to get up and make yourself do what you got to do to be able to make things happen. And I got a hold of Dallas, and it all worked out. And Dallas helped me out, and here I am. That's about all we can say about that.
Well, okay, well let's take it a little bit deeper. What would you like to say to Diamond Dallas Page for giving you the opportunity and
Well,
giving
Dallas
you
knows
the
I
hand?
appreciate it. I mean, you know, I'll be with him tomorrow. Matter of fact, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to Atlanta, and do some stuff with Dallas tomorrow. So, yeah, Dallas is a great guy. I mean, he knows I appreciate it.
Marinko Mustafa from Canada says, Bean is a legend, and I totally agree. Tough as fuck. And I apologize for the
Appreciate
language
it.
today. Dustin Bull says, Butterbean, do you still have your shop set up in Kodak, Tennessee? I've been wanting to stop by.
Yeah, I go there occasionally when I'm able.
You know, see, I look at your life, and this is where I'm going to kind of get a little bit deep, and I hope you don't mind. Is when I was 5 years old, my family kind of gave me up. When you were 8 years old, you lost your mother. You were picked on, ridiculed at school. You know, I know what it took for me to overcome and conquer life. What did it take for you, sir, to
Well, you know,
overcome?
things like that is what makes you stronger. When people pick on you and they say you can't do it, and they don't think you can, and you prove them wrong. That's the things that make you stronger in life.
It truly is. You know, I I'm getting ready for a shoulder replacement. I'm getting ready for cervical spine surgery. So I'm trying to cram as much shows as I can in. And, you know, having you on has just been a true blessing. What would you like to say to the sporting world, the community, the fans of Butterbean about what they can expect in the near future?
Well, if you haven't seen the comeback video, it's on YouTube.
I,
It's Butterbean's One More Fight. Um, if you watch it, you'll understand what I went through to get to where I'm at. And I was over. I've never fought under 300 and something pounds. I'm at 280 right now. So I mean, I'm ready. I'm you know, pretty much back and ready to go again.
I love that. And I apologize to all the people, you know, that are commenting. My time is short because, like he said, he has to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's on a little bit later time schedule than me. You know, Butterbean, what would it mean? I know it's not out of the question, but what would it mean for you to get that opportunity with Mike Tyson?
I'd love to fight Tyson just to prove to people you can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it. Me not being able to walk for 3 years and then do what I've done to accomplish what I have. And like I said, if you watch the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's Tyson's probably going to be afraid if that guy can go from a wheelchair to running bleachers in less than 2 years and drop 200 pounds. He should be afraid.
See, I love your story so much because it intertwines with mine. You hadn't been able to walk. Well, the last 3 years, 2.5 years, I went through 13 amputations and revisions on my left leg, and I'm still not walking to this day. I'm still on crutches. What motivation or what thoughts would you give to others like me in life that are struggling to find, that light, that hope, that meaning?
Well, like I said, the life's a day by day struggle. You gotta accomplish every day one at a time, and that's all you can do. You can't do more than one day at a time. But
I love
you
it.
got to remember, time flies by, so don't waste it.
No, in a blink of an eye. Eddie, Eddie, McHugh. He says, "Hello, gentlemen. I hope you are having a great night." And then Rusty Reese says, "I saw the DDP video the other day. You guys did a hell of a job getting you back in shape. How's the hip?"
Hips are great. They're brand new, both of them.
And then Marinko Mustapik says, "Well, if Tyson and Butterbean fight, that would be legendary. I love Bean's no fucks given and no excuses attitude. A ton of current younger generation should listen to his words." I agree. Who was the mentor that
I've really
created the
never
man in
had
front
one.
of
I
you?
mean, my dad died when I was young. Uh, you just got to learn by experience. Once you realize life is short and you better live it the best you can, that's when life gets going.
My friend, you truly are an inspiration. You know, I'm not going to call this the second chapter or the third chapter of your life because it's a
Oh,
new
it's just still
beginning.
going. There ain't no chapters involved. It's never stopped.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but you
Chapter
know what?
one's over when I die. I'm not even close.
Well, let's just call this the reemergence of Butterbean. If you had to open up a book,
I just took a short break.
I love that. But if you had to open up a book and put down just whatever was on your mind on we'll just call it the reemergence. If you had to put your thoughts down, what would that statement be, sir?
The same would be turn the page, see what happens.
That's dope. I love that. One thing I think is tremendous about you is there's never been a fighter like you. There will never be another fighter like you in MMA, in boxing, in wrestling, or anything. What you've created is so iconic. And your walk has blessed all of our lives, multi-generational lives. How do your kids look up and perceive you as their father? How is it being the child of a tremendous man like you?
You'll have to ask them. I'm just dad. It's no different than anybody else's dad. I'm just their dad.
I love that. Can you give us an idea of what's coming up in the future for Butterbean that isn't
Man, you got to hold on and
your ass?
watch. You just got to see. But seriously, watch the video if you get a chance. Go to YouTube or go to my TikTok. I do have a TikTok. It's Butterbean King of Four. I got a Facebook. I don't get on there a lot, but occasionally. But you got to watch the YouTube video. It's Butterbean's One More Fight. It's really impressive.
Oh,
I will
I
be in
watched it.
South Carolina. What part of South Carolina we're going to, love? I'm going to Pickens, South Carolina. I'm promoting a fight this weekend. As a matter of fact, my son's fighting this weekend.
Oh, that's dope.
So
I
if
didn't
you're
even know
anywhere
your
near
son was fighting.
Pickens, South Carolina, you got to come watch the fights. It's the roughest and toughest brawls. We got some good fights going on too.
Well, I didn't even know your son fought. That's tremendous, and I know you have a beautiful wife that stood by there by your side, and I know family is really important to you. Uh,
Yeah,
Nate
chains
Rand,
and balls will keep them. They'll keep them right there by you. You just got to chain them up occasionally. That was a joke. That was a
I
joke.
love it. I know. Oh, I love it. Nate Rand says, "Would Butterbean accept a rib eating challenge against him?" Hey, bro, enough with the silliness. His time is
Dude, I
very
love
valuable.
rips. What do you mean silliness? Hey, but I really do have to go. We're gonna have to do this again some other time. I had to get up at 4 in the morning though. We're doing a huge radio thing in the morning with Dallas. Yeah, I really appreciate it though.
Hey, one more thing before I let you go. If you had to look over your shoulder, and I know you don't like that, I know you like to look forward. If you had to look,
My neck is pretty stiff. It don't turn too well. Go ahead.
I can't even turn my neck, but if you had to look over your shoulder and reminisce in your career, and you had to correlate a word with your walk, your family, and your friends, what word would that be?
One word would be fun. Enjoy life. It's
Well,
been fun.
brother, we'll get you back on when we have a little bit more time, and we'll talk boxing because I've watched every one of your fights. I know every bit of your story, and I have watched the Diamond Dallas Page video. And brother, keep inspiring the world. Keep showing people that there's no reason to give up. You're a true
Hey,
inspiration to me and everybody.
I appreciate. Hey, make sure you tell the people that you know that you care about. Make sure you let them know tomorrow might not come. I appreciate it.
Amen. Hey, I appreciate you, sir. God bless you. God bless your family. You have a good night, brother.
Have a great evening, my friend.
God bless. All right. Hey, it was short and sweet, but we only had 30 minutes. The show wasn't supposed to start till 8, but he got a call and a much respect, Gio, much respect, my brother. And Nate, we'll get him on that. Hey, I didn't understand. I just said, just woke it up, and I got a call from Butter, and he said, hey, I got a call, and I got to be, you know, out at 4 in the morning. So he said, let's make this happen tonight, Don. And we were going to try to reschedule it, but I'm so booked out. Um, it's crazy. And he just said, thanks for having him on, and have a great evening. Thank you, sir. Uh, you know what? But I'll get Butterbean back on, and we'll get a little bit more time. It's just his schedule is just as hectic as mine. But I appreciate the opportunity to share just a little bit. I wanted to get deep, but man, he loves life so much that I don't think anything can get him down. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that he was 77-10, and that's amazing when you think of the size of this man, but his heart is even bigger. His heart is true, and he's a tremendous gentleman on his walk, and I'm truly blessed that I got an opportunity. I'll get with him and we'll schedule out for another week or two, and we'll get him back on and we'll share. I just want to tell you all I appreciate all of you showing up, the love, the respect. And Carlos Ortiz said, heck yeah, Nate ran on the rib eating contest with Butterbean. Maybe we'll make that happen. Life is too short. So I live every moment of him, like he said, but he's a true inspiration to me. And all of you are a true inspiration to all of us. With that being said, I thank you for tuning in. Have a good night and God bless. Well, Mariko says, another great show, Don. Hey, I love you too, buddy. You're a tremendous man, and I'm grateful to have you in my life, and I really mean that. You and me go back a couple years, and it's real, bro. It's real. With that being said, have a good night, and God bless.